As communities all over the world grapple with religious strife, a group of University of Michigan students of differing faiths gathers throughout the year to explore each other's views and be of service to nearby communities. I caught up with them during their annual alternative spring break as they spent the week exploring and serving well beyond the university. I first met up with Rachel Yerke, Director of Interfaith Action at the University of Michigan's Ginsberg Center, where Interfaith Action is based. Rachel, tell me about Interfaith Action.
Interfaith Action is a student group here at the University of Michigan. We bring together students of different faith backgrounds and non-faith backgrounds for interfaith dialogue and service work. We visit the Zen Buddhist temples, the Quaker meeting house, the Jewish temple. We participate in a different service project every month. We have monthly dialogue dinners.
Why does it matter that the University of Michigan fund and support programs like Interfaith Action?
Students come to the university. They have a variety of faith traditions or non-traditions. They have a variety of religious experiences, a particular spiritual orientation to the world. The university, whereas it has a mission to educate, right? It's to educate the whole person.
A major highlight of the year is Interfaith Action's annual alternative spring break in Detroit. It's been so successful that an additional spring break trip to help fix the home of a disabled couple in rural Appalachia was added. The Detroit group, which was housed by Christ Church Episcopal during their stay, was led by Episcopal student volunteer Rick Durantz.
I really think the key is get young people into Detroit.
Clearly, you can volunteer as part of any organization. What is it about Interfaith Action that makes this experience different, makes it unique?
Well, I think what Interfaith Action does is everything's on the table. I think this is why this trip has been so important, is that we take all this wonderful holistic viewpoint of studying religion and politics and social issues, and then we go out and do something about them.
The main focus of the Detroit group was Bates Academy, a public school that addresses the needs of gifted students as well as students with special needs. Is it a normal occurrence to have a group of college students say, hey, we want to spend spring break with your students?
Now, this has been the first example of that, and I was like, wait a minute, you guys supposed to be on spring break and you're here? I thought it was an outstanding program. I believe that the program has been a success.
The sole international student in the Detroit group, Rashik Maitra, was asked to talk to students about life in India and his impressions of the U.S.
My students had recently studied Indian culture, and Rashik spoke to his experience about being new to America and from India.
I had a lot of questions from them about what college and university is like, and I really enjoyed answering them because I could feel that that excitement about going into the future and going into college and university.
We pretty much brainwash our students here. We don't really talk about high school here. If you ask any one of our students, they're all, I'm 100% certain I'm going to college. It's not if I'm going to college, it's which college I'm going to go to. And it gives the students an opportunity to see, hey, I needed some help in my math class. And I remember that student who came from the University of Michigan who really helped me when I needed help. And when I get to the University of Michigan, I want to have an opportunity to come back and to help other students. So I think it's beneficial for our students as well as the University of Michigan students.
Did you know that my mom grew up on a farm? She used to milk the cows.
I was specifically in the autistic classroom. I really enjoyed it because I have some experience in the past with special education, so I enjoyed having a look at just the way different classrooms work, especially in the Detroit district.
One of my favorite experiences on this trip has been talking with Rashik about Hinduism. And it's not like Christianity or Islam or Judaism or any of the other monotheistic faiths. And I found that to be fascinating.
I wanted to be able to be literate, I guess, and also to explore my own beliefs through just looking at other people's beliefs.
As though their work at Bates Academy wasn't enough, the students also volunteered at Gleaner's Food Bank. And to fulfill their mission of exploring diverse faiths, they visited several places of worship, including the Muslim Center and the downtown synagogue, the only remaining synagogue inside the city of Detroit. The group rounded out their experience with visits to important historical and cultural sites around the city. Meanwhile, the second alternative spring break group, which went to rural Virginia, was having its own unique experiences.
We went down to St. Paul, Virginia for a week, and we worked with a program called Grace House on the Mountain to work with 2 families to help repair their homes and also learn about the culture down there.
How were you received by the people in St. Paul?
They welcomed us with open arms. They cooked us a meal, they sang for us, and they played music for us. That was just wonderful.
Tell me about the families you were working with.
We were working with 2 separate families. The family that we were working with, they lived in a trailer that wasn't in good shape. It was a very, very difficult situation. A bedroom is supposed to be your sanctuary, and their bedroom had these holes in it. I could see the ground. No one should have to live like that. And so helping them to repair that was very meaningful for us and for them.
Did you have any unexpected challenges when you went to St. Paul?
There were a number of challenges. Some people had never held a hammer before.
That's a challenge when you're working on a building project.
Yes, but you know, by the end of the trip, people could nail, they could hammer, they could use skill saws. There were a number of cultural challenges as well. There were some language barrier issues, but it was a learning opportunity, I think, to understand different parts of America. I was raised Reform Jewish, and the idea of tikkun olam is very important in Judaism, and that's repairing the world. And I think that's really just kind of given me this foundation of faithful service work.
As part of an interfaith group, do you think seeing a group of young people from different faiths, from different cultures, coming together to volunteer in a community that is not their own, what message do you think that sends to the community you're serving in?
I think and hope that the message it sends is that we're all in this together. We're not going to let these differences hinder us from being able to interact with each other, but it's going to enrich. I found having a diverse group working here, going to a diverse population, working in Detroit, has been amazing because we can take our differences and do something positive with them.